you'll understand what watching is. And I'll tell you right now, not one single Christian pastor in the entire world knows what watching is. But those are the people that you hired to tell you the truth. So go up to your pastor who is hired by you and say, Pastor, you're the shepherd of the flock. I want you to tell me what the parable of the fig tree is, because when the Messiah returned, he told everybody to watch. And if we don't know the parable of the fig tree, we can't watch when the Messiah shows up. Because the parable of the fig tree is the whole message in how to watch. And I already know not one single Christian out there knows the parable of the fig tree, so he's coming unto you like a thief in the night. Whether you're a Christian or not, he's coming unto you like a thief in the night, according to the Christian Bible, which there's constitutions and charters of rights and all these things that are based on the Holy Bible. But the devil's really corrupted everything. I'm not a legal expert, but I do know some people who know a thing or two. It's kind of interesting, you know. You have all this free speech law and stuff like that to protect the people, even against a tyrannic government, right? But they're telling us not to warn what the Bible says about this generation. You don't find that interesting? Well, everybody's life's on the line right now, according to the Bible anyway. Does anybody know the parable of the fig tree? Because if you don't know the parable of the fig tree, he is coming unto you like a thief in the night. And Paul gives you a little information about this. This is all in the Old Testament prophecies, by the way. And Peter and Yeshua and Paul and everybody, they knew the prophets. They knew what the prophets said. And the Messiah himself told you, go learn what the prophets said. I obeyed that command because it tells me, blessed is the man who hears what I say and does what I say. I will liken him unto a wise man who built his house upon a rock. So I listened to what the Messiah said. And you know what Christians do to me? By the way, when you listen to what he says, that means that you warn his people. And you know how Christians treat me? I'll take a wild guess. And they don't know the parable of the fig tree. What about the part where in Matthew, I'm talking about Matthew 7 right now. He says, many will come to me in that day. He's telling you the future. Saying, Lord, Lord. And he will say, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. And not one Christian is warning you about that. In fact, they're all ignoring it. And that should concern everybody in the world. I'm going to tell you a secret the Bible says. It's not even a secret. God is going to replace. Here's the thing. These Christians were called to the wedding. And you know what Yeshua said? That's his real name, by the way. Yeshua said he's going to replace those who were called to the wedding with other people because the ones who were called to the wedding were not worthy. That's how the Bible story ends. That's one of the details. You know what, Yeshua? They call him Jesus. That's the Antichrist name. They're too stupid to listen to this. Like, it's not that hard. I could take that Bible right now and scratch out even that name and put another name in there, like Buddha. And then all the children that got born, I could just keep telling them to call on Buddha. They have no idea that I changed the name from Jesus to Buddha, and that's what happened. But way back in the Bible, however, tells you they're going to do that. Because God is looking for people who will actually listen to the truth. So he writes, and that's why Yeshua spoke in parables. Right? Because if you really obey, God is way smarter than man. And he tells you everything in that book, what they're going to do in the last days. He tells you everybody's behavior, everything. And they're going to hate you when you can see this. But that's where you want to go. You want the truth. The truth will set you free. So, and you can see the whole world is striving for the truth right now, but they're looking in all the wrong places. And then they start to criticize the government. The government was ordained by God to take over and punish the people. That's what's about to happen. And you can see it all over the place. But who's to blame? The Christian people, God's people. And all that prophecy against the house of Israel is against the Christian church. And your New Testament tells you this. You're grafted into the Commonwealth of Israel. That's an idiom for Christian. Christian's just a man-made word. But in the Old Testament, because the northern kingdom of Israel was dispersed into the Gentiles, and the whole purpose of the church was to go get the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the northern kingdom. Not the whole purpose, but that was part of it. That's why Yeshua said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He did. That's why he came. But they didn't return back in those days, and that's how salvation was offered to the Gentiles if they kept the Ten Commandments too. So in the end days world, when everybody's living frivolous lives, filled with covetousness and all kinds of wickedness, and that's the generation you guys all live in. And it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or an atheist, it doesn't matter. In fact, you probably got a better chance of getting into the kingdom that this Bible's talking about. In fact, Yeshua told you the publicans and the harlots enter the kingdom first. And that's why I'm sending forth this message. And by the way, the lost sheep of the house of Israel are going to be taking the places. It's an end days prophecy about Jacob. It's right in the New Testament. All over the place, really. In fact, John, the first letter of John, he's not talking to the apostate Christians. He's talking to the beloved. The beloved is a title. Romans 11 tells you who the beloved is. And they're going to be a small little number like a mustard seed. Yeshua told you that. But Christians don't read their Bible. Christians don't read their Bible.